Hello, and welcome to the Lightseers and Mystics Haven podcast. I'm Erica, an intuitive tarot reader, energy worker, and seeker of cosmic wisdom. With a Virgo sun, Cancer moon, and Gemini rising, I weave together deep introspection, emotional intuition, and a love of storytelling. As a 6-2 pure generator in human design and a master number 22 in numerology, my purpose is to guide, create, and inspire. This podcast is an extension of my Substack, The Lightseers and Mystics Haven, a sacred space where we explore tarot, astrology, human design, and many of the other unseen forces shaping our lives. Whether you're here for insight, self-discovery, or a touch of magic, you're in the right place. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the mysteries together. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Today, I'm going to cover something that's kind of an extension of, or maybe a precursor to the last episode, the one on leveling up. I know that we're diving into something that many people have been feeling lately because I have been hearing it in response to the last episodes. So let's get started. We're going to cover blockages, whether they're energetic, emotional, creative, spiritual. Whatever the flavor, the theme of feeling stuck, weighed down, or unable to move forward seems to be everywhere right now. But what if these blocks aren't just obstacles? What if they're actually part of the path, designed to teach us, reroute us, or even upgrade us? Today, we're looking at those so-called blocks through a new lens, with a little bit of help from the games that we grew up with, like Tetris and Candy Crush. Yes, I'm still rocking with these gaming analogies. Thank you for bearing with me. Grab your tea, get cozy, and let's talk about what blocks are really here to show us, and how clearing the board might not actually be about removing the blocks, but understanding them. We'll start with a truth that might be hard to swallow. The block isn't in the way. It is the way. We're often waiting for things to clear up, for the resistance to go away, for the perfect alignment to appear. I'm talking to you, my Virgos. But in most cases, we're not meant to wait. We're meant to engage. We're meant to explore what the block is actually asking us to look at. Blocks come in many forms: procrastination, fear, doubt, emotional overwhelm, and sometimes decision paralysis. But what they all have in common is this: they highlight where we're being invited to grow. Here, let's take Tetris, for instance. If you've played it before, you know the joy of that long, skinny block. It fits anywhere. It clears multiple lines. It gives you options. We love options. We love that block. Why? Because it's easy, flexible, forgiving. And then there's the awkward Z shape, or the little square that never fits anywhere you actually want it to. You try spinning it, rotating it, forcing it into places, and it just doesn't work. And when you get too many of those in a row, things start to pile up fast. That's life, isn't it? We love the blocks that are easy to use, new opportunities that fit seamlessly into our plans, support that shows up right when we ask, emotional clarity that makes things feel spacious. But those weird shaped blocks, the grief, the rejection, the breakdowns, they don't fit as neatly. We don't know what to do with them. But that doesn't mean they're useless. Sometimes we don't know how they'll fit until that perfect piece shows up, and suddenly everything lines up. Multiple rows clear at once, and you realize that that awkward block is exactly what you needed. So if you're staring at a situation in your life that feels like it just doesn't fit, hold on, because the right piece is probably coming. Let's switch gears a little bit. Do you know the game Candy Crush? Well, one thing I loved about Candy Crush was the little power-ups. You know, the striped candies, the color bombs, the little hammers. They could help you clear the board faster and with way less stress. But here's the thing. How often did we forget to use them? I know I would get so caught up in the grind of making matches and trying to get just the right combo that I would forget that I already have tools to do it for me. Or I'll think that I have to save them up because there must be a bigger board coming. I don't realize that I'm out of moves sometimes until it's too late and the board resets. That can happen in life too. We very often forget that we have tools. Our intuition, our boundaries, our rest, our support systems, our breath. We don't need to white knuckle our way through every single block. We can work smarter. We can use the tools we've gained from previous levels, skills we've mastered, wisdom we've earned, guidance we've already received. And yes, you can pass the level without using any tools, but it takes so much longer and it's so much more frustrating. Also, you might burn out before you get there. The tools are there for a reason. Now, this is an important caveat to this, and it's something that I also know from personal experience. Some of us can fall into the opposite trap. We want to use every tool all the time because we don't trust ourselves to pass the level on our own. We panic, we rush, we assume we won't make it without assistance, even when we're fully capable. That's another kind of block, and it's a conversation we'll definitely explore in another episode. But if that resonates with you, maybe take a moment to ask yourself, do I trust myself to win this round without leaning on every lifeline I have? That's some food for thought right there. So just like in Tetris, the board can start to build up, row after row, confusion, tension, fear. We look at our lives and think, I'm never going to clear all this. But then, once again, something clicks. We make a shift, we get a breakthrough, we move one block, and half of the board has disappeared. Blocks often stack until they force us into a decision, a transformation, sometimes a surrender. And that's not failure, that's design. Every block that challenges you is also building you. Every difficult piece teaches you how to be more strategic, more patient, more tuned into yourself. And the more you play, the more you start to recognize the patterns. You learn to anticipate, to prepare. You start using the power-ups before it gets desperate. You might start even moving through blocks with grace, not because they're easy, but because you've grown. So, if you're feeling blocked, stuck, or overwhelmed right now, I'm going to invite you to pause and look again. What awkward piece have you been resisting? What tools are already available to you that you forgot about? What patterns do you see repeating, and what might they be trying to teach you? You're not stuck because you're broken. You're stuck because you're building. Blocks aren't barriers. They're for building. They shape the foundation of your next level. And when you shift your perspective, you start seeing what's not just in your way, but what's being revealed through it. So take a breath, look at your board, and trust that the piece you need is coming. If this episode resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you're loving the podcast, be sure to like it and connect with me through the socials linked in the description below. You can also subscribe for more insights and conversations on self-growth, spirituality, and leveling up in all areas of life. Until next time, keep clearing the path, one block at a time. And remember, every challenge is also a tool in disguise. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again.